We are in week 17 of the NFL season, and you may be asking, what is this week different than any other week? Well, it is potentially playoff week, but for batters, it is a very important week because somebody like me is about a 50-50 against the spread during the season, and picking teams heads up from around 65-70%. This week is the week where we can make you a lot of money because there's three factors of why your team that you're betting is going to play well or, well, isn't. So like and subscribe, hate, and comment. First one gets divided into three parts, and that's about the playoffs. It's not always what you think. Teams that tend to play the best are the teams that control their own destiny but have not made the playoffs yet. So when you are looking at the at your spreads this week, you're going to look at a team like Chicago, and you're going to think, hey, they should win the game over Green Bay. What does Green Bay have to play for? Oh, that's right, the number one seed. Now, if Green Bay wins, they're the number one seed. They probably knock out Chicago. If Green Bay loses, they could still be the number one seed, but likely they won't. They could fall all the way down to 3. It's a 4.5 point spread from Green Bay. I would take the points for Chicago. It's going to be close, but Green Bay is going to win that game. So now you go into the games where, hey, they control their own destiny, but they haven't made it yet. Tennessee's a 7-point favorite over Houston. Take Tennessee. Indianapolis is a 15.5 point favorite over Jacksonville. Now, Jacksonville comes up to the second reason. What are you playing for? And you have no playoffs to play for. So what they could be playing for is their coach's job, but there's no coach to have, right? They're just going to be playing for a replacement coach. They're a 15.5 point dog. You take Indianapolis. You've got the Rams in Arizona. These are two teams that control their own destiny. The Rams are a 1 point favorite. 1 point dog. They opened as a 4 point favorite. Some of this has to do with how COVID works. Now, Arizona has a lot of players for the third reason that people may want to play well, and that's about bonuses. And you've got Larry Fitzgerald, who's going to be playing probably his last regular season game. They are now a 1 point favorite. I would take Arizona. You've got guys for the Niners that are playing for bonuses against Seattle. Seattle has the outside shot to be the number 1 seed. At the very least, if they win, they are probably the number 2 seed because the Saints are going to have a lot of problems without Kamara playing because of the Rona. Seattle is a 7 point favorite. I would take Seattle. Now, when you have teams that control their own destiny versus teams that are playing for a bye, you always take the team with the bye. Now, you've got in the nightcap, you've got Washington and Philadelphia. This is the game where you want to hold off on a little bit. Now, as odd as it may sound, the Giants and Cowboys are still playing for the playoffs. Both teams are awful. The Giants are a 2 point dog. I would take the Giants. In that nightcap, if the Giants win, Washington doesn't necessarily have to win. They're a 6.5 point favorite at this point. But with the Giants winning, all they have to do is not lose. If they tie at 6-9-1, they would be the NFC East champs. So I would hold off on making a bet on that. If Dallas wins, they're definitely going to play hard. So I would wait to make a bet on that until about 4:30. I'm going to skip games like Vegas and Denver. It doesn't have any implications. I'm going to skip Carolina and New Orleans. Carolina is a 4 point dog, but New Orleans with Kamara out, I wouldn't put much money onto that game. The Chiefs are resting everybody. They're a 5 point underdog, but I would still take the Chiefs over the Chargers because the Chargers are awful. So they're playing for the second reason, to keep their coach in a job. I got a feeling that locker room really likes him, but I think the Chiefs would kind of like to get rid of that coach. So they're going to actually, even though a lot of those guys are not starting, a lot of those backups are going to want to be fresh. They're going to want to get that W, and I think they are going to win. Now, in the game that I think has the most implications for playoffs, you've got Miami and Buffalo. Miami is a 3 point favorite. That has swung 8 points. Originally, they were a 5 point dog. Knowing that Pittsburgh is keeping most of their talent out, I think Buffalo will probably play about 3/4. And if the game's close, Miami is going to cover that 3 points. So I would take Miami. And then you've got Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has basically conceded this game. But because of the Rona and because it's Cleveland, does anybody think that Cleveland is a lock? They're a 10-point favorite. I would take the points for Pittsburgh, though I do think Cleveland could win this game. And those are the bets that I think people care about. There is a Jets game out there, Adam Gase's last game. The Jets are a 3-point dog. I would take New England, and I would probably add a 7-point teaser on there because I think they can't wait to get rid of them. So like them, subscribe, hate, and comment, and welcome to Week 17.